Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for another episode of Fuck, Marry,
Hey everybody, welcome to the Fuck, Marry, Kill podcast, where we combine learning about fun subjects and the timeless classic game, Fuck, Marry, Kill. Devika, explain what Fuck, Marry, Kill is.
Well, for those of you who don't know, Fuck, Marry, Kill is a game where you're given 3 unsavory or extremely savory options, usually celebrities, and you have to decide who you'd fuck, who you'd marry, and who you'd kill.
I already have 3 in my head that I'm thinking of right now.
Me too.
Guys, all FMK decisions are theoretical, obviously. We're not condoning effing, marrying, or killing any of these subjects, people, or whatever we talk about. It's all theoretical. Just for fun. Don't get crazy.
All right, let's get to it.
All right, guys. Welcome to the first episode of Fuck, Marry, Kill. I'm your host, Britt.
And I'm Devika.
Devika and I were roommates at Purdue University.
Ages ago.
Yeah, we're lifers now. We've never separated. So we're like college roommates who now podcasts. As I said podcasts, as adults.
Yeah.
Today we're drinking some wine. I think every episode we're going to kind of do that as something fun.
So, Britt, you bought the wine. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
It's called Rascal. So this wine is called Rascal. I bought it. We're in LaPorte, Indiana right now, which is my hometown. I'm a Hoosier who's actually a Boilermaker. So
yeah.
Devika's from Boston. But I bought this wine at the local Al's supermarket. Beautiful supermarket in LaPorte, Indiana. It's called Rascal. It's an Oregon wine. Tastes pretty good. It's like light.
I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah. I really liked it.
Yeah, same.
It's nice to be back in LaPorte. The last time I was in LaPorte, it was on July 4th when we were in school. And
I dragged you here.
Yeah. No, it was so much fun. But the actor, I saw the actor who played Samwise Gamgee because his wife is from here, right?
He was in the parade.
He was in the parade.
4th of July parade.
I was so excited. It was like Samwise right there.
We had a Hobbit in our little hometown.
Yeah.
His wife is from LaPorte and her family's all here. So they
there you go.
Apparently visit. I don't know if that's still true to this day, but yeah, we're just a town full of celebrities.
So many celebrities in LaPorte.
Yeah.
That's a big bunch.
I know. It's good stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let me explain today's episode a little bit. We chose 3 things. Well, this is my episode. This is Brittany's episode. I chose 3 subjects that are kind of apples to apples. I tried to compare apples to apples. I think we will every episode.
Yeah.
And Devika at the end has to choose whether she would marry, or kill each of the ones I chose. And then I'll also choose.
Yeah,
at the
totally.
End.
Yeah,
we'll
you have to. We both have to choose. Can't be one way.
Yeah. So we had really a lot of fun researching these. Devika's living in Portugal right now, Lisbon, and I'm living in Florida because I'm like a retired golfer now who podcasts. But she did her research for her episodes all the way in Portugal.
Yep.
And I've been working in both Florida and Chicago, actually.
Yeah.
We're both kind of Chicagoans, right?
Yeah, I spent most of my adult life in Chicago, so
Same.
I feel like when I'm abroad and people ask me like, "Oh, where in the States are you from?" I kind of bounce around, like whatever seems like it would resonate more with the person I'm talking to at this point.
Yeah, we're both kind of fly-by-nights.
Yeah.
We're what is it?
What is it? Not vagabond. That sounds terrible. No, nomads. Nomads. That's a lot better than
Also, I was going to say
vagabond.
like just totally free. Is it free-spirited?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're very free-spirited.
I'd say that we're free-spirited.
Okay, so today's episode I chose, are you ready? Drum roll, please.
I'm really bad at drum roll.
She did it more with her voice, but she was also tapping on her lap, which I think is hilarious because, you know what? It's a podcast with audio. Today I chose lesser known female serial killers.
Oh my God. Yes.
I know. I'm a big true crime fan.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. I mean, I feel like that's kind of a basic girl thing to do right now.
100%.
It's very popular. But you know what? I
think
drank the Kool-Aid.
That's a great topic.
Yeah.
So I knew that you were going to do serial killers, but this is perfect.
Yeah, because everyone talks about like the popular, Ted Bundy and I don't know who else.
Yeah. The other one.
Why can't I think the other one?
The other one.
Who's the clown one?
Yeah.
He's from Chicago. John Wayne Gacy.
And then the other one that they just made the show about.
That's very specific.
Yeah, I know. All right.
We're documentary crazy right now with streaming. The documentary?
No, it doesn't matter. We're talking about women today. Yeah.
So we're celebrating women by talking about who's killed other people.
Yes.
Women that have killed other people.
We can do anything they can do.
But don't.
But don't. We shouldn't.
Okay,
always.
so for this episode, I just want to say I tried to do apples to apples, but it's hard because a lot of the female serial killers are already very well known because it's rare. Like female serial killers are actually really rare in the big grand scheme of things. So these three I chose are from different time periods, but I kind of did the apples to apples comparison in the craziness scale, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I did like this lady's crazy, this lady's equally as crazy, this lady's also equally as crazy.
Sure.
And also like I just want to make sure you guys know that I would never condone fucking marrying or killing any serial killer in general, let alone the ones I chose. They're real twats, actually.
Yeah.
These three.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to hear about it, but I would imagine so.
Yeah. Also, you know what? I prefer dudes. Everybody has their own thing. I prefer dudes, so really not going for these women.
I prefer non-serial killers.
I'm saying.
So
We can all agree on that.
fine. Yeah.
You know what? We're on the same page. Okay, and just to let you know, I'm shaking my camera. I posted the sources that I used in the show notes, so you guys can see kind of where I got this information. And also, it was kind of hard to research these because there's a lot of differing information out there, especially about the females that I chose from like the 1800s. So, you know, they didn't have a really
great bookkeeping.
Yeah, they didn't have great bookkeeping. And so I read a couple of different things. I'll try to call out the differing opinions as I go, but tried to keep all the information as solid as I could. Okay. Are you ready for the first one?
I'm super ready.
The first female serial killer that I chose, her name is Leonarda. Nope, that's wrong. Okay, the first female, bear with me. The first female serial killer I chose is Leonarda Cianciulli. I had to Google that to see how to pronounce it because I don't speak Italian, you know? Do you speak Italian?
No.
No, I speak Spanish. That's about it.
Yeah.
And kind of not great Spanish.
Yeah.
The getting by kind of Spanish. All right. She was born in Montea, Italy in 1894. She passed away in 1970. All the women, by the way, that I chose have nicknames, like pretty horrible nicknames that they were known by. Because you know how serial killers, right? You know, John Wayne Gacy was the clown killer. Yada, yada, yada.
The newspaper folks, they're really
the
good
old
at
newsies.
You know.
This Leonarda was nicknamed the Soap-Maker of Correggio.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Soap-Maker.
I know. You don't know what's coming, right?
All right. Yeah.
I'm so excited about this. This one I thought was interesting because she was a fortune teller in her city. I think Montea is like a smaller city. I have to double check that.
Some people probably got really bad fortunes.
Yeah.
Like right before.
Oh, I'm saying I love a little fortune teller.
Yeah.
You know, folktale. What is it? Folktale?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Could be.
So she this is weird. She offered readings to women only, which I'm like, okay,
Did
why?
she kill women only though? Oh, sorry. All right, never mind. Just keep going. I'll let you continue. I'm just going to guess the story.
So I got this basic information from historycollection.com. And then according to crimewire.com, her parents tried to force her into an arranged marriage. But she was not about it.
Good for
So
her.
to rebel, she married this guy named Raphael Pansardi. I hope I'm saying that right. He was a registry office clerk. They got married in 1917.
Low life.
Low life.
Those clerks, they get up to no good.
Yeah. I bet they went postal all the time too. Registry
Yeah,
office.
totally.
I mean, oof. All right. They moved to southern Italy together. Her parents probably not happy about that. We love a Raphael, though. Isn't it a sexy name?
Absolutely.
I would marry a Raphael.
Yeah. Why not? Especially as a clerk.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. He makes good government money.
Pensions.
Benefits.
Pensions all day.
Not to make fun of
No,
anybody.
not at all. I was
They
just
actually
thinking
like
that
really
too.
have good benefits.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
I'm a lot of
It's just
jealous.
it's not what you would imagine like riding off in a motorcycle with like tattoos all up and down his arm,
Yeah.
especially in the 1800s.
Like, I don't know. Anyway, he's a side character.
Yeah. Okay.
Leonarda is the main character in this story. They moved to
Leonarda, right?
What?
Leonarda.
Oh, what did I say?
Leonardo?
Oh, like
It's close.
like the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, exactly.
Oops. I like Leonardo. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
The red one. That's Raphael, right?
Sure.
It's been a while.
I don't know. We can Google it. Google that. All right. So her parents refused to give their blessing for this marriage, right? And from then on, this is where it starts. This is where the badness begins. Leonarda thought her mom cursed them for getting married and like betraying what her parents wanted. So that's where badness starts. Leonarda, after her parents were so mad at her, she believed that her mom actually cursed them to spite their marriage because they wanted this arranged marriage with who knows who. And Leonarda ran off with her beautiful
Raphael.
government.
This
Raphael.
handsome Raphael on a motorcycle.
That's a sexy name, though, isn't it?
It is
All
really
I can't
sexy.
get over it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Leonarda thought they would have bad luck for the rest of their lives. And yeah, she got pretty murdery after this. So
Seriously, did she think her mom was like a wizard? Like, why was she? She was really hung up on
we
it.
all have mommy issues. We all have daddy
Yeah,
issues.
true.
She really took it to heart.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she based her whole being
Yeah.
on this
Damn. Yeah.
so-called spite that her mom had. Anyway, full disclosure, I also read in some sources that Raphael was the person that her parents forced her to marry. And she didn't. So I got the information on that was very seedy. So,
But either way, she was pretty pissed at her parents.
she was pissed. So
Okay.
yeah, the main point is that her parents tried to force her into arranged marriage and she was not for it. And then she thought that her parents spited her and they had bad luck, right? So according to the lineup.com, this is wild. This is a wild fact. She went through 17 pregnancies. 17. Only 4 survived.
That's rough.
That's wild.
Wow.
She had 3 miscarriages and the others died at very young ages. So
Oh my
that's
gosh,
what's weird.
really,
That's a little
really-
bit like
You're thinking maybe it was.
I wonder. Well, you'll hear the rest of her.
My immediate reaction was like, "Oh, poor woman." But then, okay, yeah, I forgot we were talking about a serial killer.
Yeah, I don't. I don't want to blame it on that because we don't know.
Yeah,
we have no
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
It may have been like
Maybe it was a triggering thing that started
horrible
it or
luck
something.
because she didn't
yeah.
marry this hottie that
Yeah.
her parents had for her.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then World War II comes around, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the World War II years?
It was in the 30s, late 30s, and then Japan bombed Pearl Harbor in 41.
Yeah.
So then it was over
Mm-hmm.
after that. Yeah.
Okay, so in that era, it was coming up. The draft was going crazy, right? Like people's kids were getting letters. I mean, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds were getting letters, and they just had to go to war. They were forced. And she had a kid. She had a son. So her surviving son.
One of the surviving 4.
Uh-huh. His name is Giuseppe. And
Also a good name.
Yeah, and okay, this is weird. He was her favorite. So she had a favorite child. You know how you're not supposed to do that? She definitely did it. And she wanted to protect him. She didn't want him to go to war. She hated it. Her theory on keeping him safe was that she needed to sacrifice some humans.
Sure. as one does.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it works every time, doesn't it?
Always.
So in order to save your favorite human, you sacrifice
a bunch of others.
And that was actually her thought process. Like she wanted her son to be okay. And let's kill some people to make sure that happens. I mean, I do that all the time with, my loved ones.
She seems really superstitious though with the whole parent thing
And fortune teller and that kind of stuff. So anyway, here's what she did. She chose 3 women who were her clients as a fortune teller. Remember I told you she only did readings for women.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
So she chose 3 women who were her most gullible customers, in her opinion. And she convinced them to leave town for their own safety because she was having visions that they would be in danger if they didn't leave town.
I mean, she wasn't wrong. About the danger part, probably.
Yeah,
The leaving town part didn't pan out for them.
So her first victim was named Faustina Setti. And she gave Faustina some wine and had drugs in it. I couldn't find anywhere what drugs she put in it, but I'm sure, like, this is the early 1900s, so there was some wild shit out there.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And, she just casually axed her body into pieces after she was passed out from the drugs.
That's super gross, and I don't know why she didn't just
It's
drug
really-
her.
yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Just kill her with just pump whatever they
Yeah.
were chugging back there.
She had these weird motives. Like, it wasn't just, her theory wasn't just that she needs to sacrifice humans. It was like she needed to get creative with it for some reason. So you hear what she does. Like, she axed her body, but it's like, why? What is that extra credit for making your son safe? I don't understand.
I feel like she's using her son as a bit of an excuse to just get into
Giuseppe
some...
needs to keep
Yeah.
So she axed her body part in pieces. And then later, she wrote a book. She confessed to all these murders later in her life. And the book's called An Embittered Soul's Confessions, which is kind of like a mysterious book name. And I couldn't find this book anywhere, but I could find excerpts from the book. Basically, she confessed her recipe. She said, as for the blood in the basin in the septic tank, I waited until it had coagulated, dried it in the oven, ground it, and mixed it with flour, sugar, chocolate, milk, and eggs. So this is where the story turns. It's not soap yet. She's not making soap. She starts out with something else. Yeah. So she has flour, sugar, chocolate, milk, and eggs combined with this coagulated blood, right? As well as a bit of margarine, kneading all the ingredients together. I made lots of crunchy tea cakes. She made tea cakes out of this lady.
Never mind. I take it back. That is worse. That's worse than soap. Yeah.
People are eating them.
That's disgusting.
And served them to the ladies who came to visit, though Giuseppe and I also ate them. This bitch ate her own victims and gave it to her son. Like, what?
Dude.
She's a straight up cannibal.
Yeah. And she forced like other clients of hers to eat it.
Like, you think
That's
about
like a
serial
whole different
killers
kind
doing
of sick.
sick things, but to other people, right? They treat themselves like the king of the world, but she ate her own victims' tea cakes. I wonder what they taste. They had to taste like metallic or something weird.
I mean, it's just like you don't put blood in tea cakes. In normal, like that's just.
No, you don't. Sure thing, Davica, you don't. Also, like tea cakes, it's not really an American thing, so I just wanted to mention that it's like kind of a European thing. They're like sweet buns or sweet.
They're really
breads.
good. I enjoy it.
Yeah, they're like kind of on the bready side of the bun family. And they can also be kind of cookie-ish in certain look. I read this. I don't know. I've never had a cookie type.
I've never had a
cake.
cookie type either, but
They're like bread, like
yeah,
yeah,
they're like bunsy
buns. So she made like body buns.
I'm like looking up a tea cake
Yeah.
now, and they're like biscuits too. Some of them.
Yeah, we don't really have them in America. I never really like grew up having tea cakes, which I'm glad because some of them could have been bodies.
Yeah, that's you dodged a bullet. You never know.
So victim number 2, Francesca Soavi. I hope I'm saying that right. I didn't really look it up.
It's fine. Go with your gut.
Leonarda did the same thing to her. She drugged her wine, which is terrible. We're drinking wine right now. We could be drugged. I didn't do it. Not me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. LaPorte did it. No, I'm just kidding. So she drugged Francesca's wine, cut her up, and then made her body goo into tea cakes with, flour, chocolate, sugar, all the sweets to make them delicious. Assumingly served them to her own son ate them herself, served them to neighbors. Can you imagine if you got a body tea cake?
No, I try not to.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Try
That's
to
a valid
avoid that.
point.
Try to not think about that.
Try not to. Please.
Yeah, don't.
No more tea cakes for us.
No.
I don't trust them.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So first two victims kind of did the same things to them. Third victim, Virginia Cachopo. And I think I am saying that right. Virginia Cachopo. No sources really said how she was she drugged her first two victims, right? Mm-hmm. But I couldn't find anything that said how she was kind of put to sleep or, silenced or, frozen. I assume she just would have done the wine thing again because that's her MO. But they did say that Virginia had perhaps a little bit more meat on her bones. So they're kind of saying like the first two victims were thinner and this victim just, had a little bit more junk in her trunk.
Sure.
Yeah.
It
was a little voluptuous, as we say. So this is where it gets weird. According to Leonarda, heavier women make for better soap. Soap.
Here's where the soap comes in.
So instead of tea cakes, this lady was cut up, mixed with a bottle of cologne, and then made into soap.
I don't know which one is worse, like eating a tea cake that contains a person or like day in, day out having in your like shower, like a bar of like a person.
Body soap.
Literal.
But do you get clean when it's body soap?
Well, yeah, no. So like what I was saying before, I didn't know the method, but they really did use like pig fat and stuff like in soaps.
Yeah, I was reading that as I researched this.
So I mean, she probably helped clean some people, but still, like I'd prefer the pigs.
I guess I would choose like the soap version of it rather than internalizing this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're both awful.
It's also like just the blood part, right? Like she just congealed the blood and put it in the tea cake, whereas like the rest of it is like the actual like. Listen, they're both bad. I prefer
choose one now.
I know. No, we're doing that later. I don't have to choose.
Yeah, you're right. So body soap. I did a little research into this because I was like, how in the world is a human body made into body soap? And like you said, it's pretty common with pigs. Like you can make pig fat into body soap. So similar thing. Body fat has something in it called margaric acid. I assume like margarine.
Sure.
Margaric, which when boiled down makes a really good soap. Had no idea. The body tissue, when boiled, makes this byproduct, and it makes for a like velvety textured soap. Velvety.
So gross.
And it's like less abrasive than chemically made soaps. So it's like
I'll take
organic.
the chemicals all day.
I love chemical.
I mean, chemical. Yeah. Over a thicker lady fat, yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, I love thick ladies fat, but not in my soap.
I love a thick lady. Yeah. Don't love the soap.
Soap byproducts. Not down with that.
Let's not do that, ladies and gentlemen.
With thick or thin, like of all sizes.
Yeah.
Humans in general, no soap.
No soap.
Or even animals, to be honest. I'm good without any sort of like.
And no animal testing.
And no animal testing.
We're getting 100%. Very political and PC about this subject. We're literally talking about a body being boiled into soap.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the back to the subject at hand. I couldn't find anywhere though if it like bubbles or foams up. I didn't know the difference because when you use a hand soap, it kind of bubbles up, made of chemicals, mind you.
But I think that soap still, because I think it's all right, listen, I'm not a chemist, but I'm pretty sure that it oxidizes with the dirt on your hand. So
really?
I think that's what it is. Let's fact check that.
I didn't know how that works. Yeah.
Yeah. The soap is actually from them.
Insert fact check here.
Quick fact check here on soap. This is drawing directly from the American Chemical Society. The hydrophobic ends of the soap molecules crowd to the surface, trying to avoid the water, and stick out away from the layer of water molecules. As a result, water molecules separate from each other. The increased distance between the water molecules causes a decrease in surface tension, enabling bubbles to form.
So here's where Leonarda, I keep saying Leonardo, just ignore that part, she gets caught. So the sister-in-law of her last victim, Virginia, she was kind of the downfall of this. So the sister-in-law got a little sus. After Virginia's disappearance, she kind of wondered what was going on, but remembered that the last place Virginia was at Leonarda's house. So police kind of turned to Leonarda, and she denied, right? As we do. She denied with like really clean hands and a full belly.
Like really clean.
Super clean, bubbly, fresh. As serial killers do, deny. According to vocalmedia.com, she was found guilty of her crimes, served 30 years in prison, and another 3 in an insane asylum.
So I don't know how it is in Italy, but like I know in the States, like it was like a big deal for like a woman to be sentenced to.
Oh yeah,
to like,
absolutely,
yeah.
So I don't know which came first though, because she served 30 in prison and 3 in an insane asylum. You would think one would come before the other, but I don't know. It really kind of just said she served 30 years and then 3 in an insane asylum. But she was pretty insane.
I mean, it could, like, who knows? There are probably reasons for either. So, like, if she went to an insane asylum first, maybe they were just like, nah, this chick is, like, way too criminal. But then also if she's in prison and she's just, like, batshit, after a while, they're like, all right, there's an overcrowding issue.
Padded room for you.
Yeah, you're out. And I feel like I'm sure institutions for the criminally insane right now are not great places, but back in the day.
No way.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. They were horrid.
Yeah.
Not that she deserves good treatment, but
but still, it's like just...
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
The documentaries I've seen about insane asylums back in the day.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Bad stuff. Okay. So anyway, she got hers arrested, put in jail, fed some people.
All right.
Washed some people.
So that's serial killer number 1.
Serial killer number 1.
Okay.
Leonarda.
All right.
So number 2. This is a little bit more recent. Stacey Castor. This one's a little bit more well-known than the others because the others that I chose are a little bit back in time.
Yeah.
She was born in 1967 in Clay, New York. Her nickname, so Leonarda was the
soap one, right?
Soap-Maker of Correggio. Soap-Maker.
Got it.
Stacey is the Black Widow, which is kind of, I think that's kind of a basic.
Yeah, a term.
Get
but
more creative.
Is she like the Black Widow? Like, isn't that like maybe I've heard of her. I don't know.
I did see her on Forensic Files because I'm a big Forensic Files girl.
Okay.
Have you ever watched that show?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah,
In a half hour, they're like, we found a fingerprint. We caught the killer, which is like really 2% of the time actual crimes. Anyway, so Stacey married her first husband, Michael Wallace, in 1990.
Okay.
They got married they lived in Liverpool, New York. Had 2 daughters, Ashley and Bree. In 1999, Stacey started to tell everyone that like Michael had depression. Her husband had depression. He drank too much. He was going through a lot, which is very common. Like I would believe if someone was like, oh yeah, my husband's going through something. He's really having issues. Very plausible story, right? In 2000, Michael actually died of a heart attack.
Oh.
Right? He was 38 years old.
Wow, that's a young...
It's very young.
Yeah.
Castor refused an autopsy and collected his cash from his will, right?
Yeah.
So, depressed, had a heart attack. Plausible. No investigation there.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
All right.
Let's try it again.
Davica's yawning. I think she's bored with this.
I'm not bored at all.
She needs another tea cake.
I'm not bored at all. I just need to drink a little bit more, I think, to keep up because...
Go on.
Yeah.
No one's stopping you.
No. It's just because the jet lag.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Something I wanted to add is, you're jet lagged as hell. So
Yeah.
Davica lives in Portugal, and she was nice enough to come to Studio 78, which is run by my brother-in-law, Jason Cogswell.
Super awesome, by the way.
Which is why we have great sound quality and like amazing equipment right now.
We're not going to get access to this every time, so...
No, we're going to sound like shit after that.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Just enjoy
the first 2 episodes.
Oh,
just soak them in.
Bomb.
Soak them in. Davica keeps yawning, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, I'm
jet-lagged.
loving this, and I love
We'll allow
anything that's like true crime serial killer. Anyways, just like most ladies out there, and
Yeah.
yeah,
She's jet lagged, and I also gave her wine.
yeah, which
So-
we're gonna continue having. So I just
It's
need
a
to keep
combo.
up. I just need to have more wine, and then I'll be okay. And plus, I like this story.
All right, so back to Stacey Castor, our serial killer, female serial killer number 2. She then went on to marry someone else. So Michael was first. He died of a heart attack, right? Yeah.
I just did air
quote
quotes.
unquote. Davica loves the air quote on a podcast.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
Love it.
So she married David Castor in 2003. Apparently, took his last name. That's why she's Stacey Castor. And in 2005, so 2 years after their marriage, Stacey called the police because David had locked himself in his room and she couldn't get in. So she was worried about him. They found antifreeze next to his bed, and the police deemed it as a suicide at first. Because, you know what? Stacey probably was a convincing kind of bitch, you know?
Yeah.
They usually are. Serial killers are very charismatic usually, or they're just quiet enough that nobody pays attention to them.
Yeah.
From what I've kind
Totally.
of
She probably
gleaned.
put on like the waterworks and everything.
Yeah. So Detective Dominic Spinelli was assigned to the case. And I saw a quote on the show 2020. He said, on the nightstand next to the bed was a short glass half full of a green liquid. Another glass that had some remnants of some juice. An apricot brandy bottle. There was a cranberry bottle there too.
Okay.
So three things: antifreeze, some sort of juice, and a cranberry bottle.
Hell of a cocktail.
A cocktail. And then authorities that were searching the house also found a turkey baster in the trash. Weird, huh? And
Like
Stacey.
lined with antifreeze.
Stacey's fingerprints were on the turkey baster.
Sure.
Yep. David's DNA was on the tip. Dun, dun, dun. So also, in addition to all this bullshit that they deemed as suicide, Stacey forged his will. So she got $300,000 from David.
Wait, did they know what this? They didn't know that she had forged it, right?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, yeah.
But they found out later, and he didn't leave anything to his own son in the will.
Yeah, that's sketch right there. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really do that. Police became suspicious, I think, when they saw this will. So that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it said police became suspicious about the will, because I would become suspicious when there was
Turkey bastard. Yeah.
turkey baster.
But I mean, it kind of for you to not leave anything to your kid.
yeah, that's a red
I'm
flag.
guessing they might know that her last husband also died at 38 from a heart attack, maybe.
That'll come in a minute for sure.
Okay, all right.
So police became suspicious. So investigators decided to exhume her first husband's body, right? Which is wild. I think that's crazy that people are allowed to do that, but
Yeah.
I understand why, of course. So they found antifreeze crystals in his system.
In the first husband's?
Because remember, she denied an autopsy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back to Detective Dominic Spinelli, he was assigned to this case and wanted to test Stacey Castor, regarding the glasses that they found. Remember, they found a cranberry bottle.
Yeah, the amazing cocktail. We talked about, yeah.
Antifreeze and the juice cup.
Yeah.
According to Spinelli's testimony, he and I'll play it here too. I'll play
okay.
Spinelli's.
Yeah.
So he asked Castor, of the 2 glasses on the bedside table, so there was a bottle and 2 glasses. One had antifreeze, one had juice in it. Of the 2 glasses on the bedside table, which did she pour cranberry juice into? She responded, well, when I poured the cranberry juice,
No.
this bitch fucked up so hard. When I poured the antifreeze, cranberry
Hello,
juice.
JK.
Oh, ding dong. What a ding dong. And then There's a clip I'll play right here. So listen to this clip from the detective who interviewed Stacey Spinelli regarding a photograph he had from the crime scene. So they took a bunch of photographs, as they do. Listen to this.
These glasses that were on top of the nightstand next to David's bed. You told us earlier that you had gotten David some cranberry juice and some water. By looking at the photo, would you be able to tell me which glass it was that you brought into David? Stacey leaned into the photo, was looking at it, at which time she said, when I poured the antifreeze, the cranberry juice, you were confusing me, you were jumping all over the place. At that point I said, Stacey, I simply asked you one question. I didn't jump all over, it was just one question, if you know which glass it was. At that point, the interview continued.
When she said to you, when I poured the anti-free, are you certain it was anti-free and not anti-freeze with a Z?
It was anti-free, absolutely positive.
Thank you very much, Detective. I have no more questions.
So same thing I kind of told you, like she really botched it. So knowing Stacey had really messed up this case already, she had other plans in mind to sort of backpedal to get herself out of it. She decided to frame her own daughter. Can you imagine? I guess if you're a narcissistic psychopath.
She's just like a complete psychopath. Yeah. Or sociopath. Whichever one.
No holds barred. So she, according to abcnews.com, Castor gave Ashley, her underage daughter, vodka. She was not 21 yet. She gave her vodka, Sprite, and OJ. And naturally, like a kid being given their booze by their mom.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. This is like sanctioned boozing. It was spiked with pills. So she gave her, this is where the similarity comes in with my Leonarda. She gave her vodka, Sprite, and OJ spiked with pills. Not only that, she wrote a suicide note on Ashley's behalf, confessing to the murders. Here's where the problem is. She didn't die. Ashley didn't die. So she was spiked with those pills and her mom tried to kill her. And this girl did not die. Go, Ashley.
Can you imagine like the therapy?
Oh, no. I feel horrible for this girl.
That's just the worst. The person in the world that is supposed to love you more than literally anyone.
Yeah. It's awful. And the strength this girl had, not only to survive, but to then testify against her mom is like, go, Ashley. Good job. Bad bitch. So Ashley then, when she was well enough, she denied the whole thing. And a computer forensic expert came into the house. So remember the suicide note, it was written on a computer. And they found drafts of the suicide letter on Stacey's computer.
Oh, great.
Yowza. Dumb. Because, it's like an autosave. There's metadata, whatever.
Yeah.
Yep, they found that. Here's a quote that's supposedly from Ashley. And I think this letter is hilarious because it's all a run-on sentence.
Yeah.
No punctuation, no nothing.
Serial killers don't like grammar.
Yeah, I'm a grammar geek, so this really tickled my fancy. Quote, when you read this letter, just remember I love you and everything I did is because I love you. I'm sorry all of this is happening to you, but now everyone is going to know what really happened and they know it wasn't you. It was me. None. And there's like little weird.
But like even just that... It's so dumb.
It's so cheesy.
It's like, oh yeah, I love you so much, Mom. Like as if that would be a teenage girl's like suicide note ever.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna dedicate this whole thing to
It's
Mom.
very dramatic.
It's so dumb.
And then the last line, it was me. No one was ever supposed to know about Daddy.
That's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
And this mom was writing this the whole time. Her own daughter, her own flesh and blood.
Knowing that she was like killing.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Love the spelling and grammar mistakes. I got really excited about that. No punctuation. Also, I thought this line was hilarious. The most obvious. It wasn't you. It was me.
Yeah. Just making it really clear.
Can you imagine
so the
writing
courts
that?
don't know, you know.
That's exactly what someone would say.
Yeah, 100%.
And then later in the letter it says, Only Bree and I, remember Bree is her sister, Ashley's sister from the first marriage. Only Bree and I couldn't stand it anymore. The cops said there was antifree, nosy in there, antifree, in Daddy's body. But did they tell anyone about the rat poison too? So remember that antifree.
Yeah.
That's how they caught Stacey. Because Stacey, in her testimony, kept mentioning antifree. She didn't know that the actual name of it was antifreeze.
You know what's funny is like of all the despicable things she does, that kind of makes me hate her the most. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you're going to use it to kill someone, like just know what it's called. I mean, it's on the bottle.
So Leonarda was caught by a sister-in-law of one of her victims. Stacey was caught by a spelling error.
Yeah.
She didn't know the word antifree was incorrect.
Yeah.
In her suicide note.
It's literally on the box.
It's literally on the bottle.
The little container.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal. So she was caught. She was anti-free from that point on. That was a dad joke.
No, I love it.
All right. Serial killer number 3. This one hits home, literally, because her name is Belle Gunness. She was born in 1859. She died in, we don't know. Okay. We don't know when she dies. So this is Belle Gunness. This one hits home for me. I'll tell you why in a second. She was born in 1859 in Norway.
Oh,
Norwegian bitch.
With you.
Yeah. No, not yet. It doesn't resonate. Hold on. Be patient. So she was born in 1859 in Norway. She was described as masculine in appearance. Ooh la la. She immigrated to the U.S. in 1881. And so she would have been 22 years old. She moved to LaPorte, Indiana. This is my hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you have a serial killer.
There's like 20,000 people in this city, and it was
amazing.
Probably way less back then. So this one's kind of cool for me.
Yeah, that's super cool.
We were on serial killer. Cool. Nothing else going on in this town.
Gotta do something.
So her first husband was also Norwegian. His name was Mads Sorensen. They owned a candy store together. And
Wait, is it MADS?
Yeah.
So in Denmark, that's mass.
Oh, really?
But I don't know if it's the same in Norway.
It probably is. I would imagine.
Maybe. Who knows?
Mass?
Yeah.
Don't pronounce the D.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun fact.
So, correction, Mads Sorensen. They owned a candy store together when they were young. Fun. And they took in foster kids. Oh, so, looking good so far. Right? Looking pretty good. Yeah. The candy store burned down.
Arson, that's a big thing.
And Belle claimed a huge insurance payout. Love a good insurance payout.
Yeah.
It paid for their first home. So back to Dream World. Great story so far, right? That one burned down too. So the candy store and then the house burned down.
They wanted a bigger house.
Are you sensing a theme at all?
Yeah.
The infants they adopted, so they were fostering these kids and they eventually adopted them. They died from acute colitis. I looked that up.
Stuff?
I looked it up. It's a digestive disease, right? Yeah. You're right. It sounds like the symptoms are like a horrible, unending version of the stomach flu, like constant stomach flu. Sounds awful. The infants were insured. Payday for Belle. It's starting to get worse. I know. And then I found a fun fact with colitis, right? So according to historicmysteries.com.
Not something you say all the time.
Collide?
No, fun fact. Fun and colitis.
Fun fact, digestive issues.
Yeah.
According to historicmysteries.com, the poison strychnine, which we've all kind of heard of before, it can also present with the same symptoms as colitis. So that's a thinker right there.
Oh, that's so
because you'll see what she becomes. So Pete Gunness is her next husband, which is where she got her name. Apples to Apples with Stacey Castor took her second husband's name. They had 2 daughters, naturally, not adopted. They had 2 daughters. Those daughters both died like a week after they were born. Sensing a theme? Pete died Pete, her husband, died 8 months later. He died of I don't even know if this was Belle. He died of a sausage grinder accident. Like, Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that sounds fucking horrible.
That is a horrible
And
way
that's
to die.
what we're linking back to Leonarda because she loved a
good sausage.
chop people up,
Yeah.
tea cake, sausage, whatever. Anyway, horrible.
Ugh, that's disgusting.
So that's kind of where Belle got her routine in as a serial killer. She would, here's what she would do. This is where she became famous in LaPorte, Indiana. Drink first. She would post ads in a local Midwestern newspaper, like seeking love, like woman seeking man, blah, blah, blah. And it was popular. You know, we didn't have
Craigslist
dating apps. We didn't have
Tinder
phones at all
Yeah.
in the 1800s. And so people would post in the local newspapers trying to find a mate, which is adorable until Belle gets on there.
By the way, I said Craigslist not because it's still being used for that, but I feel like that was like the first thing before like dating apps and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've gone through phases. So she would post in the love sections. She would post as like a wealthy widow, which not untrue.
After all the like insurance fraud and
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, she was getting money off those babies and
burned houses and her dead husband. Yeah.
And here's what I thought was very interesting. She would start to send letters to men that would answer her ads, and she would send them 4-leaf clovers as like her signature. So she had like a signature.
Oh, okay. Drawn, not actual 4-leaf clover.
No, they were actual. She would find a 4-leaf clover and put it in her letter. I know.
Damn.
That was her signature.
Wow.
And they have actually in the LaPorte Historical Museum, they have some of her 4-leaf clovers and letters that she would send people.
Wow.
So you have to go to the LaPorte Historical Museum.
Totally.
It's actually really cool. Very underrated.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah. And so she would say she was a wealthy widow, give them a 4-leaf clover, which is like, lock them in, and ask them to move to her farm to marry her. Convincing. After she sent them the letters and they moved to her farm, they disappeared. And then her cash was increasing. She had a lot of money. Wealthy, wealthy widow. And what she was really doing was killing these men via blunt force trauma.
I mean, damn.
Yeah. She was hitting them with something. We don't know what it was to this day. Decapitating them, removing their limbs, and put quicklime on a lot of them, not all of them, which is lime.
Yeah. Damn, like chopping up a dude to pieces, like they're heavy.
Yeah, and remember she was described as masculine in appearance, so it seems like she was like strong. Yeah. Strong Laportian woman, such as I.
Yeah.
I'm not a murderer, though, I promise.
That's good.
One of the victims' brother was named Andrew Helgelien. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Helgelien, I think. His brother was lost. His brother was missing after he married Belle. And he's the first one that was like, this is sus. Let's investigate this. So that's very similar to Leonarda with one of her victims' sisters. Belle thought someone was onto her. She could tell someone was on her case. So in April 1908, her house burned down.
Great.
Yeah, that's her thing.
Yeah.
And they found the bodies of 3 children and a woman missing her head in the house.
Missing her head?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just gone. She loves to make things go missing. Yeah. So Andrew, the brother of one of the victims, he sniffed around the house, noticed Belle's hog pen, because mind you, we're like early 1900s. There were like weird depressions in the dirt all around, which like something had been recently buried there, and the dirt wasn't even. It was kind of dipped down. And he found a sack buried in one of these depressions, which he's like, oh boy. Contained body parts, of course. And it was gross. And this is not hilarity, but I said this is where hilarity comes in. It's not hilarious. This is all horrible, and I feel horrible for the victims. But police in LaPorte, not to, hate on LaPorte. It's my hometown.
It was a long time ago.
Police were finding...
It was a couple hundred years.
Casual.
There's a new...
They weren't Gen Zers.
No. They don't work there anymore. It's okay.
No. They were finding so many bags on this farm. Police were finding so many bags that people would like come around town. Like that was an activity that, in the medieval times, people would go to watch hangings and that kind of stuff. They did even actually not that long ago history of ours.
Yeah.
But people would go to the farm while police were pulling up these bodies, and they would make drink stands and like sell snacks to
LaPorte.
LaPorte! It's my hometown. God. Yeah. I don't know if I should be proud. We love a good show. You know, like listen. I work in Hollywood now. Yeah. It's in our blood. It's something in our water. To do. So people would come to this farm to watch the bodies being uncovered, and they started selling Gunness stew, which was like warm bowls of soup. To like it was like the snacks that
That's really gross.
They would call it Gunness stew.
They're just like messing around
so
about
it. Like, can you imagine like eating chunky soup while people bring like these jelly body? They
had to have thought that through. It's like they were just trolling everybody. I don't know. That's so messed up.
I also feel like people back in the day just saw some shit and were kind of used to it.
Yeah, that's true.
They'd been through wars. And
they needed like some form of like stimulation because they didn't have like Netflix, you know.
No Netflix back then. Yeah. No. Gunness was their Netflix.
Gunness was
some Gunness stew and some body pulling.
So what was her sentence?
I would puke. Anyway, so the 3 kids, remember they found 3 kids and a decapitated woman in the burnt house.
So they don't even know that it's, okay, right. I'm jumping ahead. Yeah.
They were found to be Gunness's housekeeper and her children. So they don't actually know, to this day, they don't know where Belle Gunness went. She may have escaped. Obviously, like, she wouldn't be alive to this day. We're in 2023, but they wondered actually
she got away.
Yeah, they wondered though if the housekeeper was actually Belle, but the height wasn't the same. Belle was like a big lady. She didn't have a head. That's true.
She was a whole head
missing
down.
a few inches there. But even like with the height difference, and estimating a head, they didn't think that the body was Belle because she was a masculine woman. She was very tall.
Yeah,
and the decapitated. I read this. The decapitated head would have had to occur via thermal amputation. So the thought is that she faked her death and ran to start a new life somewhere else because, you know, she left Norway to come to LaPorte. Why LaPorte, Indiana, by the way? But she may be out.
It would take longer to get caught. It would be easier to run away if she was in Chicago or New York or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. She's the queen of disguise.
Yeah.
So she may be out there today. Just kidding.
To this day.
She's old. She would be like a lot of years old.
Yeah. Like a lot.
Okay. So, yeah, that story's old as fuck.
All right.
She's not alive. So that's your 3. So.
Ooh.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So now that we're done with Belle Gunness, my little hometown story. Devika Girish, would you fuck, marry, kill Leonarda, Stacey, or Belle? Go.
Okay. So when I was like listening, I thought for sure like Stacey would be the Mary because it's like, all right, Black Widow. I just have like, I love my husband so much and I would never ever kill him. But like, it's also like, sure? I promise. But like, it's just kind of like, okay, like, yeah, she was crazy and she killed her husband, I guess, and whatever. And it was a different time and who, you know, I don't know. But then the whole thing with their daughter really threw me. Like that was like a whole nother level.
Yeah.
But then I like the kid thing with like the Norwegian LaPorte lady was also like the kid stuff. As soon as you start involving kids in it, it really just brings it to this next level. And so surprisingly, I'm going to have to marry the soap lady.
Okay. Leonarda.
She also seemed to be really defensive of her own. So hopefully I'd be one of her favorites. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, or I could end up as a bar of soap.
At least you would know your future.
Cakes. Yeah, I would know my future. She'd tell me.
I wonder if she told those ladies their future and then she's like, just kidding, you're dead.
Looks bleak. The future looks terrible for you.
I see wine.
I see a lot of wine.
And cleanliness in your future.
Yeah. But not great. You're not going to be happy about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the other 2, I mean, I just think like throwing your own daughter under the bus is like a different kind of evil. Mm-hmm. And it just irks me that she didn't know, like, that she called it anti-free. I don't know why. That really bothered me. So I'd kill her.
Okay.
And I'd fork the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love to fuck a LaPortian.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, not to copycat off you, but here we go. Here's my choices. I think that Stacey Castor was like the least creative of them all.
Yeah.
Antifreeze is like antifree.
Antifree, yeah.
A really boring choice. Like
And
snooze,
you don't even
snooze
like
alert. You're not getting creative.
Yeah.
You're not disappearing. You're just like you're just a grammatically incorrect bitch that throws your kid under the table.
Totally.
So we're killing her, right?
Yeah,
No,
we're killing her.
Obviously not. We're not killing anybody,
No.
guys. Disclaimer. And so then I have to decide between marrying and
forking
yeah.
or boinking or dating.
whatever. Boinking. I like boinking.
Yeah.
Belle from my hometown or Leonarda from Italy. So here's my thoughts on that. I love unlimited soap and snacks. Love to be
That's a
clean.
fair- yeah.
Love snacks.
Yeah.
Also, she didn't kill her husband.
No.
Right?
Or her kid.
Raphael was safe.
Yeah.
Or her kid. So if I marry her, I'm her husband, right?
Yeah.
Wife, whatever. And she wouldn't kill me.
No.
She would, in fact, probably kill other people to keep me safe.
Yeah.
So we're marrying her. She's
Yeah.
a solidly.
I mean, she might feed us
horrible
other
person.
people, but
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yeah. So we'll take Leonardo as a Mary. So I realize I'm copying off of you.
No, it's not.
Belle.
There's just the right answers,
Belle, like I would boink someone that gave me a 4-leaf clover. They're like,
That in and
I
of
feel
itself.
really lucky to have met you tonight. And let's do this.
Like she went out and I've looked for 4-leaf clovers. Like it's
Yeah,
not
they're hard.
They're
I know.
really hard to find.
And like super glue wasn't a thing, or it wasn't easy to find. And you can look in the museum; they're real 4-leaf clovers.
Yeah.
So she's a bit of a romantic, but it's like cheesy 'cause she's
Yeah.
giving them and that's like a guy you would meet in a bar that you
Totally.
would fork. So yeah.
The only thing I just wish she hadn't killed those kids. I mean, obviously she shouldn't kill anybody,
no,
but
these
it's
are
like
all atrocious choices
obviously.
to do anything next to.
It sucks to choose, but that's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
That's the premise of our
Yes.
podcast.
It would be silly if it was just let's screw all these people, and not literally, but
Yeah. So for the end of this episode, we are conclusively fucking Belle Gunness of my hometown, LaPorte, Indiana. Great place to stay for a couple days. And we are marrying Leonarda Cianciulli from Italy. Love some soap. Cleanly. We're clean people.
Totally.
And we were killing Stacey Castor because she's an unoriginal, grammatically incorrect bitch who throws her daughter under the bus
No,
and kills her husband. So
can't
we
throw
wouldn't
your
marry
daughter
her for
in
sure.
the bus. Not cool.
Okay.
All right.
So that's
Episode
it for
one.
that's it for our first episode of
Woohoo.
Fuck, Marry, Kill.
See you next time.
Thanks for listening.